What's going on, guys? Drudge here, and we're going to be going over all of my settings for my graphics, for the keybinds, for everything for Escape from Tarkov. This is just going to be a quick video. Maybe we might go into depth on some of the stuff on what those keybinds do and everything. But let's go ahead and crash straight into it, and court is now in session. Okay, so first here, we're going to be on Escape from Tarkov. This is the main menu, as you guys are probably well aware of. We're going to go down here to the bottom right and hit settings. So in our settings, you'll have your name here, your interface language, English if you're English, main menu background, random. This doesn't matter. This is going to do like the picture that's in the back. So on the quick slots, I actually use mine always shown. I don't know why it's on auto hive on this account. I haven't noticed that it wasn't on there. You're going to want to do that. That's going to be your HUD on the very top of the screen that shows your hotkeys, and all that stuff. Stamina and stance always shown as well. That's on the bottom left where I'm covering. And it'll show your stamina and all that stuff. So always shown on all of these. Same with health condition, always shown. Health color scheme is, I do the colored one. That's why my character is green. A lot of people have asked me that, versus the white. The green is nice because you can see, like, if you get shot and it'll be a slightly off green or it'll be yellow, and you'll know exactly if you need to heal and where and all that. The highlight available operations, everything. This is very helpful for new players. So when you grab something, it's going to highlight wherever you're going to be able to put it into, as well as where you can put it on in a gun. So if you have, say you have a silencer and you grab it and a gun highlights, that means you can put that silencer on that gun. So it's very helpful to have that. And the notification channel type, put on WebSocket. This will actually help with the next bug, as well as a few other things. Field of view, I put on 64. That's just my personal. That's where I like it. I would not go all the way up to 75. The most I would do is 74. There is a bug at 75. 64 seems to put the laser and my sight at the same spot while I'm ADS'd. So that is the issue with it. Field of view in this game is a vertical field of view. It is not a horizontal field of view like normal games. So it's a little bit different than your typical game. I always run auto RAM cleaner. Because it cleans the RAM, because this game is notorious for using all our RAM. I have 64 gigs of RAM, and I still have this on. So if that gives you any idea of, you want to have that on. Definitely keep that on. Head bobbing, definitely 0. You don't want head bobbing. Head bobbing sucks. So we're going to go back into graphics. I run in 1440p. If you guys run 1080p, you're going to want to put yours in 1080. For screen mode, I do borderless because I run multiple computers and I run multiple programs. Typically speaking, you're going to want to run full screen. Most people do that. Aspect ratio 16:9. That's pretty standard. Vsync, you're going to want to keep off unless you're doing the frames per second unlock thing. I don't do it because it just seems like I get bigger spikes and bigger crashes in my frames per second. It's the reason why I don't run it. I like to run mine. Mine normally runs at 120 frames. It'll drop down to 100 frames every once in a while. But if I do 144, it'll run at 144 frames and then it'll drop down to 100. And that's a much bigger jump. And it's very much noticeable. And if you're in the middle of trying to shoot someone or do something like that, that's going to kind of throw you off. So that's why I don't do the frames per second unlock. So for correct texture quality, so give you an idea, you guys, I have a 2080 Ti, 64 gigs of RAM, and an i9 9900 KS that I overclocked myself. I delidded it. It's a very, very fast CPU. I don't necessarily recommend these settings for everyone. If you have a solid computer, you're going to be in a very good position putting these settings, because this is a middle ground. This game requires you to utilize your GPU, but if you utilize it too much, it doesn't run good. So you have to find this like crazy medium for your settings. You can't have them too high and you can't have them too low. Normally, most games, if you run it on low settings, it'll run really good, high frames. Not this game. I don't know why, but that's just the way that it is. So these are the settings for this. You can try these out. If it doesn't work for you, try to adjust them randomly. And I'll give you an idea which ones you're going to want to adjust. So texture quality, I have high. I recommend keeping this at high for texture quality. The lowest I would go is medium, because if you go low, it's really not going to utilize your GPU very much. Shadow quality, I do medium as well. Once again, I would probably just keep mine there. You could do high if you like a little bit better shadow quality. Shadow quality uses a lot of GPU, but it doesn't really help a whole lot for your visuals. Object LOD quality, I always would put at 2. Overall visibility, you can adjust with this. I mean, I put mine at 1,000. That's 1,000 meters. You can see fairly easily. Shadow visibility, I always set at 40. If you go any higher in this, it makes it hard to see in Windows. It makes it hard to see other places. Anti-aliasing is TAA. You can do TAA high. That's all up to your personal perspective. I like the TAA. Resampling 1, HBAO off, and SSR off. Both of those you're definitely going to want to keep off, or at least the SSR. The SSR uses a crazy amount of resources, and it doesn't really do anything. So the Anthrostopic filtering, I'm not even sure if I said that right. I used to run per texture. I actually have it turned off now. I kind of think I want to put it on per texture, but I'm not going to. I don't know why I turned that off. There's probably a reason. Probably just don't remember. Sharpness, I do 0. And then lobby frames per second, 60. Games frames per second, 120. And then I don't have any of these on down here on the bottom. High quality color is off as well. So for post FX, we have enabled. Brightness, I leave at 0 and I adjust per map. Depending on the situation, if it's really dark, if it's really bright, yada, yada, yada. Saturation, 31. Clarity, 92. Colorfulness, 100. Luna Sharpen, 50. Adaptive Sharpen, 20. All of these, it says feather. I don't even have it on, so it doesn't matter. And then it's colorblind mode, so you don't want that unless you're colorblind. Sound. This is a big thing, you guys. For me personally, a lot of people, you guys will watch on their stream and you'll hear all of their clicking and their on their menu and stuff. It'll be like, click, click, and it'll make all this noise. I hate that. I can't stand it. I turn my interface volume to 10. So when I'm packing mags, you can barely hear it. In game, right? When I'm moving things over, I can't hear it in the game. So that's other noises I'm going to be able to hear in the game. So if someone's running up on me and I'm packing a mag, I can still hear them. Versus on a lot of the other people's I've seen, they'll be packing a mag and it's like click, 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 versus mine's like click, click, click. It's just a huge difference. Interface volume at 10 all the way. I highly recommend trying it. If you don't like it, whatever. And I always keep binaural sound on. It seems to work for me. So controls, you guys. This is where personal preference. I run my mouse at 550 DPI with my mouse sensitivity at 0.61 on this game. I've actually been thinking about lowering it here recently. Just because I'm getting a little bit more used to keyboard and mouse. This is my first keyboard and mouse game. I've been playing this for a year, and I do a lot of aim labs. It's how I got good with the mouse. Mouse sensitivity 0.15. 0.15 for the mouse sensitivity. Once again, thinking about dropping that down to maybe 1.3. And then double click timeout 0.3. Invert X axis, invert Y axis, I don't have clicked. So move right, that's all WADS, right? Smooth lean right. I have for left alt, and A and D. So that's the really slow leans. That's standard. I haven't had that changed at all. Lean left and right is E and Q. Some people actually reverse these. So to lean left, you'll actually hit the E button. I haven't done it because I haven't practiced that way. It does make perfect sense. So that way, when you're trying to lean and you're walking, you can use 2 fingers instead of just one. Fire left mouse button, aim, right mouse button. Those are both press. Switch scopes is right mouse button and left control. I also have it set up to my mouse. I have a Rival 650's mouse. So I have 2 buttons, or technically 3 buttons on the side here. That is the top button here. That's what mouse button 3 is. And then change scope magnification. That is mouse button number 4. So that's how I do that stuff very quickly and very fluently in the raid. I highly recommend, if you have mouse buttons on the side, to do your switch scopes and magnifications. That's me personally. I just think it's so fluent. It just makes it so it's so easy. But if you've practiced something, doing something else, go ahead and try that. These are all personal preference type stuff. Everyone's asked me how my stuff is at, so I'm just telling you here. So the free look is the mouse wheel down. Highly recommend keeping that on. But then mumble Y, open mumble drop down, double Y, mumble quick phrase Y. Check time I have not set. And the reason, I'll show you why here once we scroll down a little bit further. Compass is U, that's standard. Check times and exits, that's O. Instead of double O, it's O. Every time I click O, it'll come up check time and exits versus checking time. There's no reason to have this check time as an even option, as you're going to want to be able to see your exits all the time anyway. Toggle tactical device, T. I left that normal. I highly recommend leaving that. T's a good spot for that. And then left control T will switch the tactical device mode, which will change it. So it's like if you save a laser and a IR laser combo, it'll change between the two if you hit control, left control and T. The next is mouse scroll plus, and previous is mouse scroll minus. So that's, this. Interact F. It's pretty standard. G, a lot of people have double click G because a lot of times they'll throw grenades that they don't mean to. I don't have a problem with G, so I left it. Reload weapon is R. Quick reload weapon is double click R. Drop backpack is double click Z. Next magazine is mouse scroll and holding R. So you'll hold R and you'll scroll up and down. It'll come up in your little menu of which mag that you want to pick. Check ammo is H. Fire mode is B. I have that clicked to double. I have double clicked for B, and I will explain why I do that. But for me, B, for whatever reason, when I go to heal, because my first hotkey for heal is V. So when a lot of times I would click B and then I would be in single fire and I'd go to fire and I would be on single and I'd die. So that's why I have that to double click. Check fire mode is left B. Check chamber is left shift T. Unload chamber is left control R. These are all things that I don't really do. So I don't really worry about these. Detach magazine is R left click. I've never even done that before. So I'm guessing it just takes the magazine out and puts it in your inventory. Who knows? Prone is Z. Now that's different than most. Typically prone is X, you guys. I have X for discard. We're going to get to that here in a second and why. Sprint, I have left shift and continuous. That is something that is also different. So when I sprint, I have to hold shift. I do that because I like it that way. So duck C, that's normal. Next walk pose, mouse scroll C, mouse scroll up and down. So to change like how far up you are, you have to hold C and then the mouse scroll up and down. Walk is caps. Overhead blind fire is W left alt. So when you hit W and left alt, he'll do this thing. You know what I mean? He'll be like, all right, trying to shoot like that. And then right side, that's S left alt. Sidestep right is left alt with E and Q for left. Examine weapon is L. Fold stock is L and left alt. Inventory's tab, that's normal. Jump is space. Knife, I have not set. Draw knife, I have double click V. So if I have a knife and I want to hit something with it, I just double hit V. Right? So your knife is typically V, right? Your knife is typically V. I actually have V for my slot number 4. So instead of hitting number 4 for my hotkeys, I hit V. Super easy. I actually got that from Frozen Cotton. And I love it. Ever since I switched, I loved it. So my number 1 heal is V, and that's why I have my change fire to double click B, because every once in a while I would slip over and hit B and hit that. So weapon on sling is 2, weapon on back is 3, secondary weapon is 1, slot 4 is V, slot 5 is 4, 6, 5, 7, 6, and on and on and on. Scope elevation is page up, adjust scope is page down, screenshot, print screen. A lot of people need to know this. If you guys post stuff, hit print screen. It's really easy. You just hit the button, see? Down on the bottom right, I did a screenshot. It's pretty easy. Anyway, discard X. This is a big one. Why would you put discard as X? Because I use that button probably more. I use discard more than damn near any other thing. Why would I want to right click and hit discard or go all the way over on my keyboard and hit delete? I want that right where my fingers are at. So I put that on X. Hold breath. I have left shift and it's press. I really enjoy that versus the control for whatever reason. I think it's because it's a little bit easier for me. And then that's pretty much it. We're actually going to go into a raid here and kind of go over all of these settings for you guys. Okay, so here we are. We're on customs. This is an offline raid. That's why it's running so good. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over some of these settings and what they do. So crouch is C. And if you hold crouch and take your mouse wheel and scroll it down a little bit, see how I'm moving real slowly up and down. That's why you want that, so you can get that perfect angle. If we hold R and we hit the scroll wheel up and down, see how on our little taskbar up at the top, we can choose which magazine we want to pick. Once again, for 4, I have it set for V, so it's real quick. So say you're, boom, V. I didn't have to move my finger at all. It's just right there. Super easy. So if we hit lay down, which is Z for me instead of X, because X is discard, as of right there, right? We can hit E and Q, or we can hit Alt E, which will give us this like super like lean thing, right? See how we're like doing this weird lean? But we can also do Alt A and D for slow leans. Right? Getting a super slow lean going on here. And then if we just hit E and Q, we'll do a regular lean as well. And then G for grenade. We don't have any grenades on us. And that's basically it as far as for like the weird stuff. We do have the sidestep, which is Alt E and Q. So this is the sidestep. So say you're aim ADS and you can sidestep to reach around a corner. So if we come over here. Trying to do it here. So we can sidestep. Sidestep. Can't see us. Sidestep. Boom. Right? And then also, I don't have a scope on this because I'm on my new account. But so our mouse button is what's clicking here. So that's easy. But besides that, you guys, if you guys have any questions, just ask in chat or whatever, or in the comments, and I'll try to help you guys. But that's pretty much the tutorial for your keybinds and your graphic settings to get them to look like mine and feel like mine. So, court is now adjourned.